But yeah. And they start. Alright, game number 2 is starting up, and we have Cursed Hollow, virtus.pro versus Fnatic. Fnatic was able to take the first game, and now virtus.pro has the first ban, first pick. We could see a ban on ETC again. They banned him out in the last game already. I highly doubt that we're going to see a ban on Kalthas. Depends a bit on what they want to first pick. I mean, there's usually Kalthas and Tyrande, the two heroes that are probably first picked the most, I'd say. So there is a chance that they're going to ban out one of them, hoping that Fnatic will... well, I guess they're going to not ban out one of them. They're probably going to ban something else, hoping that Fnatic is going to ban one of the other two that I just mentioned. Then they have one of the solo picks. But yeah, at the beginning it's really just like the ban meta, or the mind games that you have there is pretty interesting. But virtus.pro is taking Tacita away first, and this is basically just saying, hey, listen, we want to make sure that there is a chance that you don't play with that Sonya because you don't have a Tacita in their midst. Fnatic now has a couple of choices, actually. They could ban something like a Kalthas or a Tyrande, and I think that's very likely that they ban out one of the two of them. The cool thing is, imagine for a second that they ban a Kalthas right now. virtus.pro can pick maybe even... They could actually like pick something like an Uther and ETC, because if they pick the Kalthas, then Fnatic is most likely going to go into an ETC plus the potential Uther, could go into ETC and Sonya. They really value Sonya quite highly. We've been talking about this. There's quite a few mind games that go into this right now. If virtus.pro would have banned one of the high priority picks, not saying that Tacita is bad, but it's not on the same level as a Tyrande or Kalthas, then it would have been a completely different match. And now there's the ban on Tyrande. So now virtus.pro has the choice. Either they go into the Kalthas, and they do. They could have also just decided to go into either ETC or Uther to make sure that Fnatic doesn't get that combo. I actually doubt a little bit that Fnatic is going to go for the combo, but they could still go into the ETC right now and could then add something else for their own draft. ETC and Sonya, for example. They are one of those teams that really value these heroes extremely highly, and that could lead to them putting an early focus on them, even though other teams would most likely go into a bit of different route. There's the ETC, and it's a false stat over the potential Sonya. Falset actually extremely good. I mean, on this map in particular, he's even stronger than on other maps. He still has that global advantage, of course, obviously, but he can also like steal bosses away, which is incredibly powerful if you play him well on this map. And with them taking the ETC, they are already signaling to virtus.pro that virtus.pro has to do something about Uther. They have to either ban him, or they have to make sure that they are just taking him, because, well, Fnatic doesn't really put the highest focus on that combo, but if they get the opportunity to get that in the second pick phase of the draft, they're definitely going to take it. So virtus.pro has to do something about Uther. They take a Tyrael first of all, and there's the Uther also taken right away, so they don't want to ban him out. Fnatic at this point have, of course, to think a bit about what they want to get rid of now first. There is still a Zagara that they could personally consider to take. They could also ban her out. She's strong on this map as well. There is also the opportunity for them to just go ahead and ban one of the range damage dealers out. I mean, there's still, like, we could talk about the Sylvanas even here, but also quite likely something like a Reyna that is being banned out. He's very powerful on this map thanks to the Hyperion and his zoning ability when we are talking about a tribute fight, when we're talking about a boss fight. And Fnatic might try to get rid of him. They already have one auto attack damage dealer, so they can run with him here. Another hero that we sometimes see banned out early in the game, which has not seen any recognition in this draft here, is an Abathur. I highly doubt that virtus.pro is actually going for an Abathur, because, let's face it, they don't really have heroes that work too well with him just yet as a potential copy, and normally you want to go for a copy hero. But in this case, it would be something that maybe Fnatic could think about. Usually you commit, and there is the Abathur ban therefore. Okay, so Fnatic could have gone for Abathur, virtus.pro realizes that as well, ban him out. Fnatic banned Muradin, which actually I find a little bit surprising. They could have taken him, but I suppose they want to play with that Sonya again and not going to go straight into a triple warrior setup. So I think a Sonya for them is rather likely. What else could they take here? Could go into the Charism again if they wanted to. That Raynor is still available and is something that they could claim now. If they don't want to play Charism, well, they have a false stat. They don't necessarily need Brightwing. I suppose Charism is a bit stronger in that regard. We have false stats together with Sonya now, so Sonya, as expected, is taken by them. And if they really want to go for a second damage dealer from the backline, then Reyna would be a good pick, because they would also pick him away from virtus.pro. Still, there's quite a lot of options what they have right now. They don't really need to go into the Karazim now if they want to like keep him as a last pick. It's very unlikely that he's getting picked away. If they want to react with the last pick though, then they're going to pick him now, and that's what they do. They pick him now, and they will react to the last pick to whatever virtus.pro do now. So they don't really have a hero where they're saying, hey, we need to take that away. virtus.pro now still has the opportunity to go into Reyna, for example, as a range damage healer with auto attacks. But Fnatic just has a bit more freedom when it comes to the last phase of the draft, because they can say, hey, let's wait what they do and let's see if we can react to this. virtus.pro could play that Zagara. They could play also with that Reyna that we already mentioned. Besides that, we might see them with another frontliner here. They could theoretically also try to go into a melee assassin. I mean, we're talking about Uther here. We're having Ethereal as well. That was old school when you were trying to go into an Illidan composition, for example. Illidan is not only the only melee assassin that you can play in a case like this. We have actually seen a pretty high focus on melee assassins overall in a lot of the recent games. Sonya is often being played a bit like a melee assassin. Karazim as well, we've been talking about that too. But they decided to go into a super heavy front line with an Arthas here now, first of all. And that's already an interesting touch. Like, that Arthas is going to be very, very tanky. But now they still need a bit more damage. And I still could see that Reyna taken if they don't want to go into Zagara. Both of them are solid. Zagara can combo the more off the Howling Blast on Arthas. Reyna, on the other hand, is strong for the fights. We've been talking about it for like zoning abilities with the Hyperion. Then again, the more for sectioning off small groups in a battle is also very extremely good. So they have preferences, and it's Sylvanas instead. Okay, that works too. I didn't really feel like they would go into the Sylvanas here. We've been talking about her in the first draft. Fnatic is now the team that can head into Arena, into a Zagara. They have these options. Zagara can be very powerful with an TTC together as well, because you can basically go from a mosh pit into a maw and then power slide through the entirety of that setup again. So this is a matter of preference what you want to go for. Bit of damage would be likely. I guess they could go for another frontliner too if they really wanted to, if they feel that they need a heavier frontline. But they go into a Vala, which is usually taken after Reyna. Still very strong though. At this point, she actually gets a little bit more play, especially on the Chinese server. Like, I started casting the Gold League matches as well, like a lot of the Chinese games, and Vala over there is a little bit more popular than Reyna, I'd say. So she's also very cool. She has the opportunity to just like use her composite arrows as an tool to just zone out these tributes even more, interrupt channels. So pretty interesting setup that the last two picks, we have our two girls, we have Sylvanas and Vala. Sylvanas is usually a hero that we see a bit more often on maps where the objective pushes. Battlefield of Eternity with the Immortal, Infernal Shrines with the Punisher. But with if you capture a boss on Cursed Hollow, she can, of course, in that case, fulfill very much the same purpose. You disable the structures, and you get more pushing power out of the objective, or out of, like, a big mercenary camp. So in this case, she can work here, too. As I said, she's a bit more popular on other maps, but she's still very strong in this one here now as well. And that Wailing Arrow is, of course, going to be another great tool to interrupt the potential ETC mosh pit, even though we already have Kalthas here, which can use his Gravity Labs. Overall, pretty solid draft. We're going to jump into game number 2 on Cursed Hollow to find out if Fnatic is going to be able to claim this with a 2-0 victory, or if virtus.pro is going to tie the series and force this game number 3 out of Fnatic. Alright, so... Okay, so we are in the lobby. And yep, they're hosting again, so our overlays are correct as well, which is always awesome. And what happened here? Oh, that's interesting. Oh. Nope, not quite. Alright, so our next game, I'm gonna start any second now. Let me double check over here what's going on. Okay. Looking good. Okay, so we have everybody in here except for one of the virtus.pro boys. And then we can go into our second map. And there he is. Andy Landy just joined. And therefore, we're ready and good to go. Now, yes, guys, let's find out who's going to take game number 2. If Fnatic can take that again and close the series out already, or if we are actually going to see a successful map here for Virtus.pro, and them just taking the game. Trying to equalize the score, of course. First game was pretty like, I don't want to call it one-sided or anything. It wasn't really like too one-sided. It was just like, it was dominant, but it's not like Virtus.pro got stomped. They had a couple of opportunities to come back, but overall it was a very solid performance by Fnatic, and they controlled the flow of the match. There was always the option for Virtus.pro to come back, but Fnatic was just very, very adamant in the way that they were controlling the objective in particular. We are starting with our countdown. Let's jump straight into it and check that out and see who's going to take it here. We have our second map ready, and that is of course going to be Cursed Hollow. So guys, let's get ready to roll for map number 2. Well, gonna take a second here for the loading, actually. We have currently a bit of a delay, and there we go. Alright, somebody was lagging, but we are done. Second game, everybody, at the Heroes Battle Arena, powered by G2A and Twitch, between Fnatic and Virtus.pro. And to the left side, we have Fnatic with a 1-0 lead in the best-of-3 series. Breeze is playing ETC for the team. We have Shad again on Sonya. Anti-hero this time on Vala. We're seeing Main on Falstad and Smexystyle on Karazim. To the right side of the map, Virtus.pro down one game. They need to win this one if they want to have a chance to win the best of 3. We have BKB currently on Arthurs. We see Power of Dream on Tyrael, Unstable on Uther, Sefkaja on Sylvanas, and Andy Lendy on Kel'Thas. Talking about the last game, by the way, we weren't quite sure if that Reyna's recruitment on level 1 for Sefka's Reyna was actually a misclick or not, and I asked him after the game, and he said that it was intended. Was not a misclick. He fully intended to go for Reyna's recruitment, but it did not work out the way that they wanted to play it here. Now on level 1 we see him with a Wind. On the American server you will see a lot of barbed shot. That's one of the huge differences between the builds for Sylvanas on the North American server and the European server. Progrock as the talent on level 1 for ETC. We're seeing Vala with a multi-shot build with a composite arrow on level 1. With a lot of regeneration talents on the side of Virtus.pro, heading into a double regeneration master and 1 Conjurer's Pursuit. Still a trap attempt down here and the attack already. If you have a Sylvanas in your midst, you can easily go for these fights. Sefkaja is already jumping back. He knows that there's no stun available to the opponent, so he can stay a little bit longer up at the front line and eat that damage and then safely jump back with a Haunting Wave. We're seeing on level 1 now also the Shot of Fury taken for Sonya. We have Seasoned Marksman for Falstad, which is pretty much the norm. I mean, the talent got moved. You all have on level 4 still the opportunity to go into the power throw for the extra length on your hammering. And that's something that they're going to utilize then together with the secret weapon on level 7. Nice move here. And Sylvanas can actually jump away. At that point, probably the adrenaline for Sefka was pumping a bit because, well, that could have resulted in him dying if that Haunting Wave expires. But he's able to jump away after the stun duration is over, so that was pretty solid. Okay, so at this point we're having up to the top lane Sefka, Power of Dream and Andy Lendy already in position to try and push this lane in. With Sefkaja there has to be a rotation from Fnatic. They have to just start to rotate against Sylvanas, because Sylvanas is always going to go in with like 1 or 2 heroes trying to just push these waves. And you can really tell how much damage that already does against the towers here. Very well done. Great job. Very well. And well, with that, they take a slight inexperience, but it's actually not really too significant if you think about it. Fnatic is playing quite nicely against this. We're seeing at the same time now in the mid lane, we're having already Unstable here in position, and we're seeing up to the top lane now still that push going on. So right now, Shad starting to whirlwind in and immediately gets hit by a Gravity Lapse. Oh, Sefkaja, this time he does not get away. Was trying to use the Haunting Wave again, but no chance. Sylvanas down. And Fnatic is doing an incredible job. I mean, considering that they have not been taking down any structures, but they lost the tower at the top lane and nearly lost the one in the mid lane here. They are still not even experienced. They're doing very well here. So we have down to the bot lane still that good fight between Antihero and Power of Dream, but nothing too much has been happening here. First Tribute is now on the map and Antihero is starting to rotate up to the top lane. With level 4 talents, we see just the normal builds continue. Andy Lendy goes down, and even though he used the Gravity Lapse against 2 heroes, he was still killed. And now that could be a tribute in favor of Fnatic. With the new scaling and also the death time, as is of course a bit more time until Kel'Thas is going to be back in the fight. They still interrupt the Karazhan channel. Power of Dream is now also moving in. ETC is still at the bot lane, so Fnatic is not going to go full on out on this tribute, but they're still fighting for it here. And as long as ETC is soaking experience, it's all good for them. ETC took the wave at the bot lane, so this is a bit more pressure against it, and he can now take the one in the mid lane as well, which he is very likely to do, unless they are really determined to take the tribute. And as apparently they are, they're starting to move in up to the top. ETC went straight for his power slide talent on level 4 after he chose Proc Rock on level 1. Destruction for Arthas. Amplified healing for Tyrael, and here comes that fight again with Antihero trying to zone as much as he can with his arsenal and composite arrow talents. Goes in with a multi-shot and hits that one time after another. They're trying to push the opponent back. Level 7 is going to hit a bit earlier for them, and maybe they can put that to some good use if Shed is able to soak some more experience, but Falstad is in trouble. Mena moves away. The kill against Arthas on the other hand. Sefkash jumping in with a Haunting Wave, uses it in Venom, but Smexy Style is ready to save Falstad, and now they once again have a lead thanks to the extra talent. We're seeing Face Melt taken, the loudspeaker talent here for the extra knockback. We're having the searing attacks for Vala. We're of course seeing the secret weapon for Falstad, who's going to jump in again. And right now, ferocious healing for Sonya. The tribute is still on the map, by the way. 4.5 minutes in, and we still have the first tribute. And Arthas is coming back into the fight. So does Mena, and they kill Tyrael. Kill number 4 in favor of Fnatic. They move in once again. Mena dodging that Howling Blast, moving away for now. No level 7 talent yet for virtus.pro, but there it hits finally, and that gives us Rune Tap on Arthas. He has a bit more sustain now. Tyrael with battle momentum, but BKB falls again, and it might also be the death of Sylvanas, who's trying to move away with a Haunting Wave, but it's a little bit too late for her. Great kills here for Fnatic. 6 kills against 0 already. They channel the tribute. 5 minutes in, the first one has finally been taken. Great moves here on the side of Fnatic. And now we are only missing, look at Uther. Only missing Uther with his level 7 talent. They takes it. He goes for Clairvoyance, so Vision. And that's actually pretty smart. I mean, a lot of, after we saw that nerf to Cleanse a few patches ago, a lot of people were talking about Cleanse as a talent, if it's really still viable, and most players still decide to go into Cleanse on level 7. But now on Uther, you have really a couple of options that you can go for. We oftentimes see his like Burning Rage equivalent on level 7 when you're playing against the Zagara, so that you can take down the creep tumors. In this case, they decided that Cleanse is not really a talent that they necessarily need, and go instead into Clairvoyance, because it gives you vision on the map, and that's great when you're trying to determine whether or not your opponent is attempting to head straight into a boss, for example. So it can be a great talent. So an adjustment to the situation in the game and the map, and I like that a lot. Sefkash down here is in a bit of trouble, needs to jump away with the Haunting Wave, but it's too late. Antihero sees an opportunity, jumps in and takes the kill. And Fnatic is by now a level ahead, but they lost Sonya. Sonya was taken out at the top lane over here. Great job by Anilendi and BKB, Howling Blast and a Gravity Lap, so the other way around apparently. First kill, by the way, for virtus.pro. They lost 7 heroes already, so when it comes to kills, it's really a no-brainer who's winning this right now. We have now the level 10s ready for Fnatic, and that of course means free tribute, probably a little bit more than that even. Power of Dream is waiting around for a long time, trying to interrupt that and delay it for as long as he can to get some extra experience. And the mid lane was heavily pushed thanks to the setup with the Bruiser camp. But still, we have now Divine Palm, Mighty Gust, Strafe, Wrath of the Berserker, and also the Mosh Pit on the side of Fnatic, whereas the move down to the bot lane is already revealing that they're attempting to move in with 3 heroes against the lane once more. And that's 3 structures right there. Falstad is flying back in, but if he doesn't use the Mighty Gust, he, yeah, okay, they're moving away for now. They're actually like very afraid that there's a rotation happening against them. BKB even with a Howling Blast into the bush, but now they have level 10 and they can finally start and fight again. ETC with a double Mosh Pit. The Divine Shield is saving Sylvanas, but Kel'Thas is blown to pieces, and Fnatic bursts through the wall. They take the towers, and it was a great kill here once again. 8 kills against 1. Kel'Thas is dead, and Sylvanas would have actually died if not for Unstable, who used the Divine Shield in the last second to keep her alive. Another tribute is now on the map, and this is starting to get really, really dangerous for virtus.pro, because if they lose the tribute, then they're going to be cursed, and that is a huge problem. So right now, Breeze and Antihero are already on their way into the tribute position. They're starting to take a spot there, whereas Smexy Style has a bit of a fight going on with Power of Dream right now. Everybody else is starting to move away. Here comes the tribute, has been taken, curse is happening, and that's an issue right now, of course, for the team around Sefkash and BKB. So in the mid lane, there's already the the wave push up at the top. We're going to see the same thing in just a second. This wall is most likely going to fall. And now Fnatic can make the choice if they want to go for the structures and push the lanes, or if they want to go for a boss, which is very often the case if a team has the curse against the opponent. Because you put your opponent into a loss-loss position. Either they contest you at boss, then all of the waves are pushing against them and they're going to lose structures. Or they defend the lanes, then they are going to lose the boss. And the boss alone is going to do quite some damage. In this case, Fnatic decides to not go for boss just yet. They are starting to take down structures, and the bot lane is the first one that they eliminate. Smexy style already busy in the mid lane, trying to do the exact same thing over here. So he goes straight for it. Level 10 talents on the side of Team virtus.pro. I haven't really talked about it yet. You probably already saw it, the right side of the map. We have the Army of the Dead. We have Sanctification, Divine Shield, Wailing Arrow, and Phoenix taken. And now with the level 13s, Fnatic is taking a very comfortable lead again, with an extra talent, with a spell shield even on the side of Shat, because he decided that on his Sonya, he this time needs a bit more sustain and can't go into his normal talents. I mean, we oftentimes see him on level 13, or in general, not even like with a level 13 talent. Oh, actually, wait a second. First of all, we have a boss now claimed and contested, but it's still level 13 talents. Mane flies in, could go straight. Sanctification already used on the point. Here comes a quick mighty gust. Mane moves in. ETC was trying to go for the mosh pit, but not successful. Power of Dream and BKB are nearly dead, but so are the guys on the side of Fnatic, and Sonya is about to die. Arthas dies at the same time. A massive brawl happening, and there's the double kill, the triple kill against Tyrael, Uther, and Sylvanas. The boss has been claimed, and it's a quintuple kill, a multi-kill. It's like whatever you want to call it. It's a full team wipe. I mean, they get every single one of them. It was a very cool approach, actually, from virtus.pro. I mean, that nearly worked. They got Sonya down, and that was extremely close, but at this point, it was just a bit too much. With level 13 talent on Karthus, they would have definitely won that fight. But as is, with only level 10 talents versus level 13, they were just ripped to pieces over here, and not really what they wanted. As I said though, like, especially Sonya decided to go into the spell shield against Karthus instead of the mystical spear, which you usually see on her for the mobility on the map. Could even decide to go into the Nerves of Steel on level 16. In the last game, if you remember, they went instead into No Escape for the extra power, and once again the kill against Tyrael. Fnatic is just so good at finding these small opportunities to take a target down, and they take them immediately, every chance they get. And now 10 minutes, 11 minutes into the game, they're gonna go for the keep here. They're about to maybe even take another hero down if they can get a bit closer to BKB. In terms of damage, we have 28,000 on Vala. Falstad actually is currently at 26,000, trailing even a bit behind. Season Marksman stacks are of course going to increase the damage towards the later stages of the game. And the Buccaneer skin already been put to use for some funny sounds effect and the quick fly up to the top lane to soak the XP. So now, that being said, we have 13 and 16 talents in, and there we have it. No Escape, the talent on 16 for Sonya. We have also now, of course, the Hammer Time. We have Speed Metal taken for ETC. We are seeing for the Circle of Life for Charism for the extra heals. And we have Vala with the Blood for Blood. Same time though, the level 13 talents. I mean, it's still a 3-level lead that we're seeing for Fnatic here, and there are 14 kills against 2. There's very little to say about that. These guys just play an incredible Heroes of the Storm. There's a reason why they won DreamHack. These guys are good. They are damn good. They're maybe the best in Europe right now, and they're definitely one of the top 2 teams together with Team Liquid. No questions asked. Relentless taken on Arthas. Good lockdown against Sonya. Silence hitting her hard. And Divine Palm is saving Shat. Great play here by Charism. That was definitely needed, but Shat is still going to fall here. Shrink Ray was also used against him. Material is also dead, and that puts this fight into a 4 versus 4. Keep in mind that virtus.pro is fighting without the additional level 16 talent. Sevkaja in a bit of trouble, jumps away with a Haunting Wave. At the same time, Anti-Hero and Smexy are also in a bit of trouble, but Charism heals everybody out. Falstad is already at the tribute, and this will be the 4th tribute in a row for them. Netherwind used, but Andilendi is not hitting it since Mena was already moving back. 15 kills against 3, and we have the bot lane pushing hard against that core now. There's already 2 of the catapults, and the 3rd one will follow soon. At the top lane, though, ETC with a mosh pit, but a nice interrupt. The problem is that BKB might still die. He went for the Howling Blast, but him and Uther, they are both down. Gravity Labs did not do anything here. And at the same time now the Mighty Gus pushing everybody away. Smexy started eating a bit more damage. And this is of course brutal. This could be another boss easily. If you're finding yourself in a 5 versus 3 situation, you can go for one of those big mercenary camps on the map if you want to. virtus.pro has the problem that they're constantly just like fighting against an opponent that is ahead in talents, and that is a massive problem for them. The shields are being attacked by the waves, they have to rotate down to soak the experience, and they're doing what they can, but they are starting to lose more and more ground on the map. They lost one of the keeps already earlier, and now they're losing the fort in the mid lane. It's a great position here for Fnatic, and they are exploiting those advantages as much as they can. They are forcing virtus.pro into fights. virtus.pro is taking them though, and they lose Tyrael again. Tyrael didn't even have the chance to use a Ruin Smite to jump out of this one because he just gets locked down by ETC and the rest of the team. And with all these minute stuns that they chain up, they get kill after kill after kill. They have 18 kills against 3 right now. It's a disaster for virtus.pro. They're already down 1 game in the best of 3 series, and it's not really looking like they are going to tie the series up here. Cursed Hollow might be the last map that we are seeing today, since they are not looking like they can start this comeback. Maybe with a level 16 talent they can make some plays. For now, BKB is trying to get experience at the bot lane for his team, and they really need it. I mean, they need that extra talent. They shouldn't try and fight before that happens. That is not Tribute Curse yet, so letting that go and waiting for the level 16 talent is the right choice. Fnatic so far didn't make any moves towards the boss at the top lane. You have to keep in mind that virtus.pro has fought now twice without the talent or that the opponent already controlled, and were still very close to winning the fights. So they have actually pretty decent control during the battles themselves. It's just that extra talent that is missing for them, and which puts them behind. Once they start to fight on level 16 talents, they might have an opportunity here. But again, virtus.pro is moving in. Already a Phoenix for the zoning, unfortunately for them, at the wrong position. Was just more or less indicated to make sure that nobody is flanking them, so more of a safety Phoenix than anything else. Cooldown is only 40 seconds, so no problem. BKB is taken out though just as they hit level 16. This is so unfortunate for them. There's already the stone skin for him now. We have, of course, our level 16 finally here. The Holy Ground. We're seeing Benediction, Cold Embrace, and the Arcane Barrier, but they have to wait until Arthas is back, and once that's the case, they might be able to force a team fight that they can claim. They've done a really good job in the 5 versus 5 battles, but they were always at a disadvantage because of talents, and now they have to just wait until BKB is back and then try and fight on even talents with their opponent and get... I mean, let's face it, they kind of need a team wipe here. They need really a huge win, or they are not going to make it, and they need to win at the Tribute now, and they don't even rotate because they know they can't do it just yet, and that's going to be another curse against them. With Arthas dying earlier up at the top, this is a big deal, and right now with 19 versus 16 the curse happening, they were attempting to go for a boss, but they already realized that there's a rotation happening for Fnatic up to the top lane, so they can't do it. Once again, Smexy dashes away, 2 mana, well played. Very smart plays by Fnatic here. I really like that they move on the map. They go for Unstable, they're trying to get the kill, and they do. Now Power of Dream is also in trouble, but he gets healed by the Uther Ghost and drops Sanctification. The kill against Sylvanas to the right side, thanks to Anti-Hero, is more or less sealing the deal though. They are starting to go in again. They can either go for core or just drop all of those keeps right now. Whatever they want. Nice Mosh Pit to eliminate Kel'Thas. Well done. Good Divine Palm to save Anti-Hero on Vala, and they might even get the kill against Power of Dream now. Yes, indeed they do, and that is going to be the core. They move in, level 20 versus level 16. Great play here on the side of them. They play an incredible game. Very well done. Congratulations, and GG. Well played by Fnatic, taking it here at the Heroes Battle Arena with a 2-0.